Alright, so after being curious about them for a while, I picked up one of these Dyson, or these aftermarket Dyson hoses. This one is made to power electric attachments, like the mini head or whatever. It was down to $10, so I figured, why not check it out, right? And I just thought I would do kind of a little review on this thing. So, it's a great concept, but it has a problem, which we will be exploring shortly. Look at the diameter of this hose. It's very narrow, even as opposed to here, as opposed to one of the attachments, it has a narrower diameter, and then of course with it being a stretch hose, its interior diameter is going to be even slightly smaller than the outside. And that results in a loss of power. So, while it's not ideal, I'm going to use these adapters, 2 of them unfortunately, because one goes from the new style Dysons to old style Dyson, then I have an old style Dyson to 1.25" adapter. It'd be nice if they made, new style just to 1.25". Maybe they do at this point, I don't know. But we're gonna take power tests at the end of this adapter set, and then we're going to attach the adapter set to the hose and show the power at the end of the hose. So, and I'm sure due to the nature of this, we're going to have people that are unfamiliar with my testing metrics. So what I'm doing here is using an anemometer to measure the airspeed through here so that we can get a calculated air volume moving through here, measured in well, this will be in feet per minute, but there's a multiplier used in order to turn feet per minute into cubic feet per minute, which, we're measuring the airflow through the vacuum, which airflow is a huge component when it comes to cleaning effectiveness. And then we'll also measure the suction of this with a different style gauge. So I'm going to start this off in low speed, and we'll take a high speed measurement too. It's worth noting too, the filters are probably not in the best condition right now, but this isn't about the machine's performance, this is about, end of machine versus hose performance. So here's our feet per minute, and I'll put in CFM in editing. We'll switch this into high. Now, as Dyson owners already know, when you block off one of these machines, it pulses to let you know it's clogged, so we're not going to get very good suction numbers before it starts doing that. Switch it to high. And generally when you do this sort of testing, you want to keep the hose as straight as possible, so I've decided to lay the machine on its side, because it'll have a larger gap if I leave it upright. So we'll take the airflow measurements and then the suction measurements, and we'll have comparison. Alright, and this is what we have at the end of the hose on its low speed. Switch it over to high. So we'll take some suction readings then. On low, notice how we're not getting the pulsing. Switch it to high. Because we have leakage. It leaks around the electrical connections, around all over around there. So, it's convenient, for your tight spaces to be able to get an electric tool into them, or even a non-electric tool, at times, more confined spaces, but it's a good concept, but the execution of it wasn't very well done. because, you know, we have a small diameter hose that's cutting down our cleaning power by, oh, probably a quarter to a third. So, I mean, you're getting convenience using this, but you're sacrificing your cleaning power in order to do it. And I mean, it's not super well built, clearly, because I mean, we have a lot of leakage that occurs around the connection points here, which is something we don't seem to have with the with this end here. You know, because I mean, we're still getting, you know, 20 inches of suction or so, even on low power, and it's still entering into its kind of clogged mode, as to where here there's so much leakage that it can't trigger that. So I think what they need to do is they need to put a seal at the back of this chamber here that's going to mate with the end of the tools. Because as far as I know, they all sit back about the same amount. So like a rubber seal at the end of there in order to, you know, close off some of those gaps, hopefully. Well, I suppose it may actually be, you know, where the wires are entering into that channel there. Well, regardless, it's like they need to fix the leakage, and this really should be a wider diameter hose so we're not losing as much airflow. So is this hose worth it? If you really have to get an electric tool into a small space, you know, that you can't get into with your Dyson, I would say go for it, but I wouldn't use it for anything but that confined space. Because, I mean, otherwise, you know, you're missing out on performance you would get by plugging it directly into the machine. And that just doesn't make a lot of sense to me.